Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It's Thursday, July 17th, 2008. As many of you know, the third annual Netroots Nation Conference starts this afternoon down in Austin, Texas. And as we speak, the TPM delegation that's going to be covering events is in the air, flying down to Austin, Texas to bring you all the latest from Netroots Nation. Now, for the first 2 years, the conference was known as Yearly Kos. The first was in 2006. In 2006, I think a lot of people didn't know quite what to make of the conference, even though it ended up being very successful. By 2007, this was already with the new Democratic Congress, and it was already a very big deal. A lot of big Democratic lawmakers and bigwigs converging on Chicago last year. And this year, I don't think there's any question that it is the largest coming together of progressive activists and politicians really the entire year. Last year we were on the scene in Chicago and we interviewed people like retired General Wesley Clark, Senator Chris Dodd, who was then a presidential candidate, Marcos himself, Mike Gravel, who was still a presidential candidate at that point, although I think maybe just barely. And this year we've tentatively scheduled interviews with Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Darcy Berner, a Netroots favorite out in the state of Washington, and even, we've done a lot of reporting on Senator Stevens up there in Alaska, and Mark Begich is up there who's running against him. We're going to talk to him and see, there's so many scandals around Stevens. Is he finally going to be able to send Senator Stevens into involuntary retirement? So starting this afternoon, we're going to be bringing you live blogging from David Kurtz at the main TPM blog, and we're also going to be uploading selections of our newsmaker interviews as we record them in Austin. Then next week on TPMtv, we'll be bringing you full episodes showing you what happened at Netroots Nation, what speeches were given, what was said, and give you a flavor of the experience if you're not lucky enough to be able to attend this weekend. Now, if there are other activists or bloggers or newsmakers that you'd like to see us interview over the weekend, send us an email at talk@talkingpointsmemo.com to suggest them to us. And we're going to sign off with a few brief clips of our interviews from our coverage of the second Netroots Nation, then Yearly Kos, last year in Chicago. I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you next week.
What the people have to realize that the politics as usual isn't going to change anything, and that's what the other candidates are about. What I'm trying to convince people is to have enough confidence in themselves to want to be empowered as lawmakers. And once they understand that, this will be a force that cannot be denied.
I carry every day with me, have all 26 years a copy of the Constitution. Robert C. Byrd.
That looks like it's been covered.
That's right. I fell in the water with it once. So it's something it saddens me that I got to campaign on. In a way, you shouldn't be campaigning about the Constitution. Campaign about health care and education policy and farming. The idea you're going to restore the Constitution is pretty profound. I can't recall a time when that was a debate. But after this crowd here, for the first time in my memory, we actually it's a legitimate issue. But for the blogosphere responding to this, I'm not sure as many people would have paid attention to it.
I think all of these issues argue that what you need is a broader frame of reference for the dialogue. Strategy, policy, diplomacy, politics, troops, not just troops. When we argue troops, we're really on George Bush's strongest turf. He can say, I'm the commander-in-chief.
Right.
Yeah, fine. He can say, these are America's finest. We agree with that.
Right.
And then when you say, get them out, he says, well, I've talked to the troops. You listen to the troops. Troops say they're doing a good job. They want more troops in there.
Right.
You're not supporting them. Listen to what the troops say.
Right.
That dialogue is not a productive dialogue for us.
I have to say that I'm really glad that the conference will be named Netroots Nation next year. It is a little bit surreal. If I dwell on it too much, it kind of gets almost creepy, I guess. But it really is it's what people don't realize, and what a lot of the traditional media doesn't realize, is that this wasn't a conference that was celebrating Kos, the individual, myself. It was celebrating Kos, the community, and it's a very stark distinction that a lot of people didn't get, and I understand why they didn't get it, because this is really something new. So now that the name is changing, I think it's going to be easier to make that case, and we can sort of move beyond the Marcos-centric view of the blogosphere to what it really is, which is this incredibly vast and grand set of people all over the country deciding that they want a voice in their politics.